I knew my husband was cheating before he even looked up from his phone. And no, it wasn't a message I saw. It was the way he smiled. You know that soft, stupid smile people get when they're texting someone they shouldn't be texting? Yeah, that one. And the worst part? He was standing 15 feet away from me at the farmer's market like everything in his life was perfectly normal. Now let me tell you something about Nashville. In this city, the humidity doesn't just ruin your hair. It carries secrets. The air that morning was thick with the smell of wood-fired pizza, wet soil, and the very specific scent of a man lying through his teeth. I was standing by a crate of heirloom tomatoes pretending to shop. But really, I was studying my husband like a blueprint. Because that's what I do. I'm an interior designer. My job is literally spotting flaws in beautiful structures. I can walk into $1 million home and tell you exactly where the builder tried to cut corners. And marriages? They're just houses people live inside. And mine? Mine had termites in the foundation. His name was Caleb. 10 years ago we were broke, living in a tiny studio apartment with a leaking sink and big dreams. Now we had a mansion in Belmead, a country club membership, and a marriage that felt like a perfectly decorated empty room. Then Caleb looked up from his phone. And that's when I saw it. That soft, dreamy expression he used to give me. Except this time, it wasn't meant for me. And that's the moment I realized something terrifying. My husband wasn't just lying. He was in love with someone else. But here's the part Caleb didn't understand yet. I'm not the kind of woman who screams in public. I'm the kind who plans quietly. And by the time this story is over, you'll understand exactly why that matters. So I did what most people wouldn't expect. I smiled. Not the angry kind of smile. The calm one. The kind that makes people think everything is fine. When in reality the storm has already started forming. I walked up behind Caleb and tapped his shoulder. He nearly jumped out of his shoes. That alone told me everything I needed to know. People who aren't hiding, something don't react like they've just been caught robbing a bank. Hey, Del, he said, shoving his phone into his pocket so fast it looked like it burned him. You're early. I thought you had Pilates. Early, right. Funny how men suddenly become time experts when they're caught texting someone they shouldn't be texting. I finished early, I said calmly. Then I picked up a tomato from the crate. It was bruised soft, rotting from the inside. Honestly, it was the perfect visual representation of my marriage. You've been staring at that phone for 10 minutes, I said. Is the weather really that interesting? He laughed nervously. The weather? Oh yeah. I was just checking if it might rain during the Titans game tomorrow. I looked up at the sky. Bright blue. Not a cloud for 100 miles. Wow, I said slowly. A surprise Tennessee hurricane. Only visible on your phone. His smile tightened. And then he said something that almost made me laugh. It's just a girl from work. Skylar. She's new. I'm helping mentor her. Mentor. That word again. Funny how many affairs in corporate America start with the word mentorship. But instead of arguing, I did something much more interesting. I invited her to dinner. Friday night, I said sweetly. Just the three of us, and the look on Caleb's face. You would have thought I had just announced we were hosting dinner with the IRS, because here's what Caleb didn't realize yet. Dinner wasn't a social invitation. It was an inspection. And by the end of that night, someone's life was going to collapse. I spent all Friday afternoon preparing the house. Not because I wanted to impress Skylar. No, this dinner wasn't about hospitality. It was about pressure. See, people reveal the truth when they're uncomfortable. So I set the dining room like a stage. Soft candlelight. Crystal glasses. Perfect plates. Everything elegant. Everything calm. The kind of calm that makes liars nervous. Then I cooked Nashville hot chicken. And not the tourist version. I'm talking the kind of spicy that makes grown adults question their life choices. Because when your mouth is on fire, it's hard to keep your lies straight. Caleb spent the entire evening pacing the house, checking his watch, adjusting his tie, acting like a man waiting for a medical diagnosis. "Just be nice tonight," he finally said. "She's young. She's just trying to succeed." I smiled. "I'm always nice." Then the doorbell rang. And when I opened the door, there she was, 26, messy boots, cheap wine in her hand, and that innocent little smile women use when they know exactly what they're doing. "Mrs. Delaney, it's such an honor to meet you," she said. I stepped aside. "Please," I said softly, "call me Delaney." She walked into the dining room slowly, staring at the marble floors, the artwork, the chandelier, like a tourist walking into a cathedral, or maybe like someone imagining what it would feel like to live there. And that's when I realized something interesting. Skylar didn't just want my husband. She wanted my life. But here's the part she didn't understand yet. You can steal someone's man. You can even steal their attention. But trying to steal a woman's entire life, that's when things get dangerous. We sat down at the table. Wine was poured. Dinner was served. And for a few quiet minutes, everything felt almost normal. Then Skylar looked at Caleb and said something that changed the entire room. "We just have a connection," she said. "A kind of energy you can't really explain." And the moment those words left her mouth, I realized something. This girl actually believed she had won, which meant it was finally time to show her the truth. Because what neither of them knew yet was that dinner wasn't the real surprise. The evidence was. I let the silence sit at the table for a moment, just long enough for the tension to grow. Skylar kept talking about connection and energy, smiling like she had already won something. Caleb wouldn't look at me. That told me everything. So I took a slow sip of wine, set the glass down, and said the one sentence that stopped the entire room. "Caleb, should I show her the photos? Or do you want to?" Both of them froze, the way people freeze when they suddenly realize the game is already over. Skylar blinked. "Photos?" Caleb's face went pale. And that's when I knew the timing was perfect. See, 3 months earlier I found something strange. A receipt. Not for flowers. Not for jewelry. A car wash in Germantown. Now that might not sound like much to you, but Caleb had no reason to be in Germantown. His office was downtown. Our home was in Belle Meade, which meant there was only one explanation. Someone else lived there. So instead of confronting him, I did something smarter. I watched. For 90 days I said nothing. I cooked his favorite dinners. I smiled when he said he had late meetings, and while he thought he was getting away with everything, I was building a case. Bank statements, hotel receipts, phone records, even a jewelry purchase. I slid a small folder across the table. Skylar opened it first. Inside was a photo of her and Caleb walking out of a jewelry store, her hand held up proudly, a ring sparkling under the lights. "The promise ring," I said calmly. "The one he told you was a family heirloom." Skylar looked at Caleb, confused. Then I delivered the final line. "I checked the bank statement," I said. "He bought it at a mall kiosk for $200. The color drained from her face. And Caleb? He looked like a man watching his entire life collapse in slow motion. But the truth is, that dinner wasn't the real ending. It was only the beginning. Because by the time they walked out of my house that night, Caleb didn't just lose his affair. He lost his job, his money, and the only life he thought he owned. And the funniest part? I didn't destroy his life. I simply removed the illusion he was living in. And sometimes, that's the most powerful revenge of all.